evening and welcome. It's 6:05 on our studio clocks, and if you just tuned in, this is FM Rainbow 101.3. Yes, it's a wonderful Wednesday evening, and this is the time of the day when we chat with the brightest, the smartest, and the sharpest of brains from Namma Bengaluru. This show is called Bangalore Brains. Well, yesterday was World Disability Day, and this day is recognized and celebrated to increase public awareness, understanding, and acceptance of people with disability. Why am I talking about World Disability Day today on my show? Because on my show today is the founder of an amazing bike rental company. It's called Royal Brothers. Abhishek is here with me live in the studios of FM Rainbow. Abhishek, it's such a pleasure to have you. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for the welcome.
Abhishek, we'll talk about your significance with World Disability Day yesterday.
Yeah.
But quickly, let's talk about what is your business all about. It's called Royal Brothers, and it's a bike rental company.
Yeah.
What do you guys do?
So we are a mobility company. We give access and freedom to people who don't own or can't afford to own a motorcycle, and we give this motorcycle access close to in 40 odd cities in India today. And we've started in 2015 and scaled eventually to reach this level.
You operate in almost 7 states in India and also other countries already. You
Yeah.
started in 2015.
Yeah.
So Abhishek, tell me the story of how, and you look really young. So what's the story about your organization? When did you start this company? Is it just you? You have friends?
Yeah. So 2014, I would say me and my co-founder who is heading technology today, Akash, we were traveling to Pondicherry and we were looking to rent a motorcycle. So we were this youngsters who were looking for a bike so that we can explore the city on our own rather than going with a tourist guide or organized tour.
Right.
And we tried renting a motorcycle, and it was really a very bad experience because it was not online. You had to call someone to book a bike,
Yeah.
and then you had to wait in a location where you didn't even know which place it is. And we were in Pondicherry, and I was frankly not aware of Tamil as such. So, but either ways we rented a bike, and which was a private board vehicle, and then we used it. And then that is when it clicked for us that why don't we start a motorcycle rental in Bangalore, and then eventually go up and make it a technology-enabled company. So we use a website and mobile app for our transaction. So I would call we are a tech-enabled company for motorcycle rentals.
Okay, so why do you say tech-enabled company? Are you available on an app, or do you have
Yes.
to go online?
Yeah, so all our transaction or booking or whatever you want to rent for a day or month, you can go on our website or mobile app and book a vehicle. So you don't even have to call any person, and every process is seamless, right from your booking, transaction, payments, all of it.
Abhishek, this is very exciting. I know you also, we can also rent a special genre of bikes which Bangalore is very crazy about. I've seen most of the Bangalore riders ride on that particular bike.
Yeah.
But for now, I'm going to take a musical break, and I'm going to come back and we'll talk more about Royal Brothers. Well, 6:08 on our studio clocks. I'm in conversation with Abhishek. He's the founder of Royal Brothers. Keep it locked. We're going to come back and chat a lot more about this bike rental company. 6:18 on our studio clocks, and you're listening to Bangalore Brains. This is the show where we chat with the brightest, the smartest, and the sharpest of brains from Namma Bengaluru. Abhishek, we were talking about the World Disability Day that we celebrated yesterday.
Yes.
And I have a quote from Mahatma Gandhi. It says, "Strength does not come from physical capability; it comes from an indomitable will." Right? And I also told our listeners that you make customized bikes for differently abled people.
Yeah.
Right? Tell us a little more about that.
So we basically rent vehicles for disabled people as well. So this thought came through me when I was traveling across, and I saw a lot of restaurants across other nations that there was a separate ramp and there was a separate chair for people who are disabled, and even for a movie theater or anything. And that I saw was missing in India. And since I was also running a small time business, why don't we bring in an access to people? Because for someone who is physically handicapped or disabled, the biggest challenge is access. Going to a bus stop or anything, right? So, or even going to medical support as well, right? So if we could give them an access, that is what makes our brand different. So that is why we started bike rentals for people who are physically disabled. Right?
Okay. And how popular is this? Do people come and utilize that service?
Yeah, we just started this yesterday. We went live with our vehicles yesterday, and basically here we don't keep any profits, and it's purely as a CSR activity for us. Wow. And it's no cost, just the cost. We don't charge any profits on this. And once the vehicle is booked, it's door delivered to the customer's location.
Okay.
So that gives them the freedom of, they don't even have to move from their house. So yeah.
But of course they'll be on the vehicle and moving around the town.
So we are enabling them with that.
Yes. Awesome, Abhishek. I think congratulations on that. And you said you launched that yesterday.
Yes.
And I hope a lot more people can get on the bike and experience the joy of riding, isn't it?
True. Yes.
So a slightly more, tough question. Now, when we say bikes and when bikes are on road,
Yes.
They do emit and they contribute to pollution and all of that. So what do you have to tell about this? Do you have any green initiatives coming up, or how do you look at this particular problem?
So I would break it into two things. One is we as a company, we produce a lot of carbon, and we own it up. So as a company, we have done a lot of saplings. Recently, we have done close to 2,000 saplings of trees, and we have partnered with a lot of other companies to help us with this. Right, and our riders actually come along with us. We do the saplings together, and this is one thing.
You plant saplings.
Yes. And the next thing is we've also started moving towards electric mobility, which and we've just we started our pilot recently 3 months ago, and we are with the government, with our nation, to move towards a completely electric mobility as such.
Yeah.
We are hearing a lot of feedback from our customers in terms of range anxiety and a lot of stuff. We are trying to work with the government to how do we fix this. So biggest challenge today with electric mobility is where do I charge my vehicle next?
Right.
So in terms of this, we're working with a lot of different state governments, right from Karnataka to Andhra Pradesh to Punjab.
Yeah.
How do we fix this? I think we as a nation together will have a solution by 2023.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because by 2023, government is also planning to remove all vehicles that pollute and get away with diesel completely.
Exactly.
Right. And also, Abhishek, India being a country where every home has at least 2 bikes.
Yes.
Right. Not just a car, but now 2 bikes. Right.
Yeah.
So what is the need of a rental company again?
Yeah, so we are trying to replace ownership to a shared economy, which in a way also reduces carbon footprint, right? So the same vehicle is being used by a lot of different people in different locations, right? And our idea is to give access to mobility across India. So that gives you ownership that, okay, I can trust a particular brand, and I don't have to own vehicles. I can rent them wherever I travel to, right? If you go to Coorg, to be Mysore, Bangalore, we already operate there, even Hubli and Dharwad. So that gives access and gives a confidence to customers that they don't have to rent, they don't have to own them, they can just rent them wherever they are.
Fabulous. So you're saying why buy when you can rent?
Yeah.
All right, listeners, if you're listening, I'm talking to Abhishek. He is the founder of Royal Brothers. It's a bike rental company. When I come back, I'm going to ask about speeding and wheelies that probably people could do by renting a bike, and what's Abhishek's thoughts about that. But for now, we're going to take another musical break, and I'll be right back after this song. I'm in conversation with Arun. Arun, we were talking about renting bikes, and also I'm really impressed to know that not just renting bikes, but also you're planting saplings. Abhishek, my apologies. Abhishek, now just as a common man, if I want to rent a bike, right, I have a couple of things on my mind. One is, anyway, in a bike rental company, these are all second-hand bikes. I don't know how they are maintained. And when I take this bike, nobody's watching me, nobody's following me, and I don't have to come back home, and my mom and dad are never going to find out. So I can zip this bike, and I can do my wheelies, and I can do anything with it. What are your thoughts about it? Can I do such a thing?
So we strongly urge you not to do this. But once the vehicle is out of our location, I think it's hardly impossible for us to control. But we have technology which actually tracks harsh braking and an accelerometer on these vehicles, which actually figures out if the vehicle is in a different angle or anything. So it sends a notification.
Is that live?
Yes.
Oh my God.
So it sends a notification to our team, which enables us and track the user and figure out if this is the user that we want to rent the vehicle next time. So we do something like a driver behavior analytics, which helps us figure out we don't have a ruined bike for the next customer. And this, on taking this stage as an opportunity, I would request and suggest everyone who is renting vehicles from all of the rental companies not to misuse these, because these are meant to actually bring in a lot of ease and access, and also bring down the burden on environment.
Yeah. So for all of those who are listening, and if you were wondering you could do that, then literally you have to take a walk, because that's not possible. There is something that's tracking you, and they got behavior analytics.
And right? one thing to mention is that we share this data with our competition as well. So we know that we wouldn't rent a motorcycle. You could never rent a motorcycle with any of us.
Oh my God. This is like intelligence, Abhishek.
I would say it is intelligence so that the customers are always happy and safer on the roads.
Okay, so the other thing that people complain, and there's also a lot of articles in the newspaper, is like how there are so many bike rental companies at the moment, and people just parking bikes on a flyover. Who parks bike on a flyover and just walks? Where are they walking? I also wonder about that. Yeah. So how do you tackle these issues?
So again, like I said, once we figure out this is a mishap, it's basically a behavioral issue with our people, and which we are trying to educate them with a lot of videos, content, telling them how to drive safe or ride safe in monsoon, everything, and also bring in discipline. But we accept this as a challenge as our business, right? So we also make sure these customers cannot rent motorcycles again with us.
Okay, so you brought up something very interesting, Abhishek. You said a behavioral issue, right? And you also operate in other countries other than India. So do you see a stark difference between how riders behave in India versus another country?
Let's not move to other country. I would say we could just, since we operate in different geographies within India, we see a lot of difference in terms of behavior and in terms of discipline, in terms of riding, and it also comes with the age group, right? So if it is somewhere between 18 to 22 or 23, there's a little of overspeeding and those stuff. But when it eventually becomes older, right? So there is a lot of disciplined riding that we observe. But we have also observed in a few cities, a few states across India, they don't even urge to take a helmet from us. So we insist them, and we actually literally we actually scare them that you will be penalized, because we are giving it to you at a compliment price. You don't even have to pay for it. Why don't you use this? I would say that way our Bangaloreans and our people in Karnataka, I would say they are very well versed with using helmets.
Yay! That's because all the police are hiding, and when you get caught, it's really bad, isn't it?
Yeah.
So who do you say, which city has the most disciplined riders, Abhishek?
I would say Bangalore.
Wow! Okay, on that note, I have to play this next song, and this is dedicated to all the bike riders in Bangalore, and of course to Abhishek, who's doing such a fabulous job. 6:33 on our studio clocks, and I'll be right back chatting with Abhishek. This song is in the voice of Shankar Mahadevan and Mahalakshmi. Welcome back. This is the show where we chat with the brightest, the smartest and the sharpest of brains from Bangalore, and Abhishek, the founder of Royal Brothers, is here live from the studios of FM Rainbow. Abhishek, I'm inquisitive to know what kind of audience rent bikes?
So
what's their age group?
Yeah, so age group somewhere between 18 to 40 largely, and these are the people who are going to college or they recently moved into a new city. For example, people would have moved into Bangalore or Hyderabad or Trivandrum for their jobs as a tech job maybe, right? And also a lot of sales representatives who are in a new city like Hubli, and they want to sell their product to a lot of kirana stores in Hubli, right? So we give access to them, and we also give access to tourism, right? So we operate in Coorg and Chikmagalur, where it's completely a tourist driven market. So that gives consumers access to explore. So we work on everything that that mobility can enable.
Right.
Yeah.
So do you have a store everywhere, or do you have, what is your business model like? Because if you're present in so many cities and different
Yes.
countries, you'll have to also partner at some point, right?
Yeah. So as a business model, we have franchises, we have cell phone company-owned operations, and in smaller cities, we just give out a franchisee to a local. So they're on the business. We create entrepreneurs, I would say, and help them grow with our technology and the licensing that we have, right? And basically, we partner with hotels or someone where we could park our vehicles and create a temporary kiosk and store, or we bring in an office space and create a whole office environment as well. Depending on the size of the city and the market that we operate, we go with a lot of plug and play. We are a startup, I would say, and so we are still in the phase of learning.
Sure. So you said you're a tech-enabled company and you do a lot of analytics and all of that. So which state in India is using your bike rental the most?
I would say Kerala and Karnataka both.
Okay. Are they? Is it because they are bike lovers? Because Karnataka obviously is a state where people love riding out of town and going on short trips.
But we have a lot of honest fan following from Kerala.
That is nice. So big shout out for all the Mallus.
Yeah, you can call so.
Okay, great. Abhishek, I also know you have two other founders, right? And most of the time when we have entrepreneurs on the show, they're usually single founders, sometimes, most of the times. So when you have two or more people, does it get more difficult in making decisions or planning? How does it work for you?
It is difficult, yes, but it's the best way to go about, right? Because three different brains and three different perspectives, which helps us, and we are always in a disagreement with each other. But for all of us, the vision which is the company has set, which we call reimagining mobility powered by trust, is what drives us together. So that keeps us alive, and so we all fall back and say, okay, we are all doing it for the good cause of the company.
Okay. And what are some of the challenges of running a business like a bike rental?
Challenges, I would say, is theft that we face very frequently, and how do we recover these vehicles, and as even the people, manpower management, how do we make sure they're inspired enough to deliver the same quality that we breathe as founders, right? And for example, we operate in Tirupati, or in a city which is very far off from here, and how do we make sure we deliver the same quality of bike that you had an experience in Bangalore as such, right? So for this, a company culture is what matters for us. So if you visit our office any day, you would see no cubicle in the office. If there is no place, I sit on the floor, even my team does, and we don't have any designated location for anyone as such. We're all running around the office. We have all sit together, different departments mix all together. So that way we know what is happening on ground, the reality, and what is happening on the management level. So we all fight for one thing, is about how do we deliver the trusted motorcycle.
Amazing. So you're saying it's an open culture, there is no hierarchy, everybody is available for everyone, and that's what makes it a very vibrant place.
Yes.
And you're saying your first priority is your customer, and how do you deliver the best quality bike for them?
Oh yeah. So if you see, it starts with this small quote from Jack Ma, which says, "Forget about your competitors, focus on your customers." So it has always been in our system, and we've always been breathing this. Even if you talk to any of the executives or anyone, we go over and above to help consumers. Yes, we are a bike rental company. Yes, we have machines running on road, and we fail, and a very less number of times. But how do we help consumers at that point of time is something that differentiates us from a lot of people.
Fabulous. Well, Abhishek, it's also time for us to take a update from the South Asian Games. We'll come right back after that. Abhishek, welcome back. It's 6:50. We only have 10 minutes left on the show, and I'll come to my most popular question that I always ask everybody who's on Bangalore Brains. What is your advice to young entrepreneurs who want to start a similar journey?
The biggest, I think it's the most simplest, but it's the biggest thing for anyone. I would say if someone reaches out to me, it's going to be hard, very hard, but just don't give up. Because we have faced in the last 4.5 years, we as co-founders, we have faced a lot of struggles, we have faced a lot of money crunches, a lot of consumer issues, a lot of things, but that day we all stuck together and said we will not give up for a simple issue like this. And I think that's what has helped us scale, break barriers, and
Yeah.
become so big.
So what do you do when days are really looking not so great? Do you just take your bike and go on a ride?
Yeah, but that we do that, and also we have a different approach in our team. If you have a problem, find a solution is something that we breathe, and we also we also try mentoring our people with an approach where if the moment they see a difficulty or a challenge, think about a solution, not about the problem, because most of the time people get sucked into it.
Absolutely. So don't think about your problems, don't crib about them, look into solutions. That's Abhishek's advice. And also don't give up.
Yes.
Don't give up
the
during tough times. Abhishek, coming to the end of our show, do you have a message for your team? Any favorite songs that I can play for you? And of course, you have been absolutely fantastic, and I wish you all the very best.
Thank you so much. I think I have one message to my team. You guys have been doing, I hope you're listening to this. You guys have been the biggest strength of Royal Brothers, and today what it is because of all of you. Thank you, everyone.
Fabulous. Well, it's time for me and Abhishek to say bye-bye. I'll see you again at 7:02. It was an absolutely fabulous chat with you, Abhishek. We'll see you again soon.
Thank you.